now for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, though, sports fans? This is the Shop Report special edition of the Turnbuckle. I am Double J, of course, your main host for the day, but my co-host to my right, your left, is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, D Gully.
Yes, sir.
From the CO Lumbus.
From the CO Lumbus, yes, live and in the flesh. Hold up for... I got it right. Is it gonna read right? Is it gonna read right? There we go.
I think it would now, yeah.
Yeah. All right. How we doing? How we doing out there?
Wonderful. It is, of course, a momentous occasion, not only the day, but of course, actually, coincidentally, many view this time frame, if we want to call it this part of the calendar,
okay,
for WWE and just pro wrestling as a whole, kind of the downtime, right? It's post-Mania, pre-SummerSlam, where all the other, everything kind of comes after that.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, first of all, let me first say, on behalf of the show, Memorial Day, for all of our veterans, in any armed forces capacity, for those who paid the ultimate price, for our veterans, whether you have, irrespective of my feelings about the military or what have you, the idea that there are those who made a sacrifice and that sacrifice was the ultimate one. And in some capacity, that sacrifice has allowed us the opportunity to do what we do here on our day-to-day lives, for our day-to-day lives. I appreciate that. I thank you. And, enjoy your day. Hopefully you've enjoyed your day. I just wanted to say that first, on behalf of the show and myself. So happy Memorial Day, as it were. Now, to your point.
Well, no, wait a minute. It's speaking, completely echo your sentiments. With grateful enough to be related to someone who was in D-Day. So,
wow.
Yeah. So that was actually Megan's grandfather. So, and now I want to shout out our guy D-Runk. I love it. Right.
Yeah.
All things being said, I know this is not typically his arena, right?
Yes.
But nevertheless, always want to make sure I show some love right back. Giving it right back to you. I'm always keeping the Lou top of mind.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah. Well, as far as it being the slow period, right? I see why. I see why that is. I'll tell you what. It would be, this year would be a hard year to make an argument that this isn't a slow period. Because I don't know. I don't know if what we're seeing is what they know. I don't know if WWE still kind of knows what they want to do with Cody Rhodes as champ. I don't know if it's fleshed out, right? I don't know. I think it's because there are a few possibilities that they're toying with, and I think the challenge is, if you lock into one, another viable option might become better. So I think it's a matter of having too many options, and therefore you've picked nothing. Analysis paralysis, if you will. Because what if CM Punk is healthy enough very soon? What if Drew McIntyre is still a hot name, there's still a lot of momentum behind Drew McIntyre to challenge, right? What are we going to do with Brock, right? Roman Reigns is going to come back into the picture. These are names and brands that you don't throw into like an amalgam, right? You run a program with. You follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You still have AJ Styles. I still think that the opportunity is missed with AJ Styles. Are they still working on bringing LA Knight up? I think that the problem is they don't have aside from Cody Rhodes, they don't have a viable another guy. Think of it this way: in any era before this, right? Let's go back a couple years. You had Roman, you had Bray, rest his soul. You had Brock, okay? You had Drew, all right? You had guys you can run a program with. If we go back a few years earlier than that, in the later years of Cena's run, you had Cena, you had Brock still, you had Braun. You had other guys that could kind of help toe the line, right? If we go all the way back, some 20 years, or actually, yeah, we go back to, let's say 2004, 2000. Okay, we've got Cena, we've got Edge, Matt Hardy. You had, and then you go back further, you got Triple H, The Rock, Austin. Who's in the position to ride shotgun with carrying the flagship shows, with carrying the brand other than Cody Rhodes? Who's in that position right now?
And you know what? I'm not even going to answer that because I actually want your take on this comment right here from our guy, none other than D-Runk himself.
He says, the funniest thing is I don't even halfway watch WWE consistently, but listening to y'all at least about the big stars, I know exactly what y'all talking about, which is the problem with WWE. Now, D-Runk, is that a problem? Or are we just that good? No, I'm just playing.
Oh man, no, well, we're going there.
Yeah, no, but I think I get what he's saying is that what he said is he there's a disconnect between the product and the common viewer or the common consumer. I think that's just a product of us getting older. We're more disconnected because we, as adults, it is an option for entertainment when you're in your late 20s, in your 30s, and into your 40s. When you are preteen and teen, I mean, either you was with it or you wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you didn't watch wrestling, you didn't watch it. But if you were in, you were stuck in. It's the same thing I think with video games, right? Either appreciate it.
I absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. Now, what we can do though is bridge the gap. What we see here, I think this is better wrestling product than it has been in recent years. I am largely on board with everything we think that Triple H has co-signed on in terms of the brand of the product, has chief content officer. If we're going to say that, he's the gatekeeper between a good idea and a bad idea or a direction or what have you, if we're going to say that it is him, then I'm on board, because what I've seen in recent weeks and recent years, aside from, the Bloodline 2.0, the Bloodline boy band,
as you see, my little sub caption there says "not in a boy band," and D-Runk, to D-Runk's point, rather, as you kind of emphasized with Hunter taking over and getting that creative role, and even The Rock's presence, I would say. Now you're being backed by two Attitude Era guys that know what this thing looked like, know what direction it could have went left, right? As we've talked about with the Monday Night Wars. And so potentially what we could see is a couple, I've been on record of being a little critical with how the rosters have evolved or devolved and expanded or contracted. But at the same time, overall, I will completely agree with your point that, and even in these past few shows, I've brought up Triple H is okay. If you're going to tell me that you're changing, I need to see it. And
Yep.
I some things we're going to dive into tonight, I would say we co-sign all of that.
I'll tell you one. Did you hear the recent announcement about WrestleMania? I mean about SummerSlam 2026?
Minneapolis?
No, not just Minneapolis, but it is 2 nights now.
SummerSlam is 2
SummerSlam
nights?
is 2 nights. And I believe it is to 2026. I don't think 2025 is. I think I know for certain by 2026 SummerSlam will be 2 nights.
Now, see, what are your thoughts here on this?
Oh, what he's saying here?
Yeah, because
I
haven't looked at it in that
and I just
context.
watched a random match because of y'all, and it was so much more acrobat based than I remember as a kid. Like, it was beautiful. Yeah. So, do you like that? Thing is, I can't remember. Oh, don't worry about that. Stick with us. We'll get you there. But
Yep.
do you like what you saw? The key is, do you like what you saw? See the acrobatic stuff. See, I can't. I sort of like it. I can like it. The artistic, the acrobatics. You know what I'm saying? The theater. The theater. I do like it. I think sometimes it can be a bit much, especially when you know that they got to set up for spots. You can kind of see them just waiting there, right?
Well, that depends.
Depends on who it is,
main
right?
event, Jey Uso.
Oh.
So here's the thing. Historically, if you were in that kind of cruiserweight division, it had that lucha libre type of. That was kind of the mentality that, okay, you had to be more athletic because you lacked the size. When you go back to the 80s, the guys had the size.
Yes.
So now what we're witnessing is almost like this Today BA-esque of positionless. Have we reached that stage yet? So to D-Runk's point, that's why I know certainly within the women's division, hands down, they've climbed an absolute mountain that, started with the Litas and now it's you could list off a handful of names, no problem. So before, hey, our match was cut, that's not the case anymore.
Okay. I like seeing. Of course, you're gonna get better athletes, right? As we grow and evolve, as humans, as we do. Our technology and our physiology becomes more improved. Then you're gonna get more Undertakers and more Bray Wyatt. You know what I'm saying? More Undertakers and more Bray Wyatts, or more Undertakers and more, guys at 6'8" being able to work small. You know what I'm saying? So that I don't see that that's a bad thing. I don't see it can be a bad thing. I would like for those guys to have better, more natural speaking ability. I like them to have better mic work.
But look, there's countless guys. I mean, we could start with Roman. That it takes time. Brock needed, Paul Heyman.
Yes,
for an extended period of time, and then you found out that the person that Brock Lesnar is, that actually people not only related to but enjoyed.
Yeah, I think it's because he had to be around long enough for him to be comfortable.
But see, take a look at this, right? I've never actually looked at it from this lens, so I'm so glad he's throwing this up here.
As wrestling went up to replace the lack of storyline, which as a 90s kid, the storyline was everything. Yeah, there were, because the storylines, well, for the most part, most of them were at least raw enough or aggressive enough to look like you were blurring the lines. Like, we all kind of gave the dead man a pass. But aside from the dead man, you didn't have too much of that. Right? Most of the other storylines, they were seemed to be authentic. They were seemed to be, if they were characters, they were playing other humans, if you will. It wasn't too far-fetched, right? It wasn't like what WWE was before the fourth wall came down, before the Attitude Era, right? In the era leading up to when during Diesel's title run, right? It, we had moved, thankfully, they had moved away from it. And WCW did a great job in helping that. Well, I should say the NWO specifically did a great job at moving the entire industry away from that. Because they had their share of characters. Remember Oz?
But you know what? Here's the thing. We had a much more, I hate saying it this way, we had a violent product. We had that. I joke, and Megan hears me say it all the time. I call it, they say TV, and then they'll put MA, and then they'll say L, and then I'll say, VA. I basically spelled the last name. And so we are seeing glimpses of that. D-Runk, we actually talked about on a past show that with Triple H kind of in the, now in the driver's seat of this, we've seen more recent, almost like feelers to see how people would react and respond to seeing blood. Or I'll give an example on AEW last night. Someone actually was lit on fire, with a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Now, look, other than a video game, I had personally otherwise never seen that attempted before.
Right.
I think, and then only the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think
the
dude used a flamethrower. And even then, it was a prop from another movie. So, we're talking movie within a movie within a movie. So, it is an interesting kind of time because they are getting better collectively. I would say top to bottom roster wise.
Yes.
But now with some 90s dudes in there having some say, and they're not just dudes, of course, ladies as well.
Let's say Attitude Era specifically.
Yes. And I think in the same spelling, the same graphic that we all were used to.
Gotcha. Yeah, correct. And yeah, that's what I see. That sense of realism, right? Understanding this performance theater. I mean, put it like this. This is what I come to realize. Professional wrestling is an entire industry based off of trust falls. I mean,
why did that just take me out at the knees, though?
It is. That's all. That's what it is. It's an entire industry based off of that one in YouTube phenomenon called a trust fall. So when people talk about how fake wrestling is, go do a trust fall. Go turn around, put your hands over your shoulders, and lean backwards, and make sure your friend is there to catch you. You won't do it. You have a hesitancy doing it. Even if it's your mom, your dad, whomever, you just somehow they might not, right? So this is what wrestling is. It's trust falls. And so trust falls are very real because if someone's there to catch you, you don't get hurt because you're falling properly. If they happen to miss the mark, they're not quite where they need to be, they're not quite ready for the fall, you hurt yourself very badly. So I don't want to hear about wrestling being fake anymore. It's performance theater, live action comic books, the way I describe it.
Valid. With that being said, before we jump into the show, we are going to take our first 105, and then we will be returning right back and then go from there. It's time.
All right.
It's Kate Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report. I'm Homie Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report.
My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report.
You're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report.
Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Man, works at Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
All right, and just like that, we are back. We got a comment here from D. Runk. Listening to y'all as a 90s kid, I love WWE because it gave me everything I wanted to see that I wasn't allowed to see under the disguise of I'm watching wrestling.
Yeah.
No truer words have been spoken. I've never wanted to be a PIMP, as 50 called it once upon a time.
Right. Yeah.
Due to the friends that he had. And of course, we also had, Val Venus in those segments that were shot with Jenna Jameson, coincidentally.
Yep.
And I'm not going to speak on her career, but even the talent that was on the roster, and other things that they had participated in. It certainly, as a teen, I'm
gonna tell you, man.
For it.
I'm actually a little bit anti when it comes to that.
Well, now as a parent,
no. And this is probably a deeper dive into a more serious discussion, but I actually wasn't as much of. I mean, I did. I ain't gonna say I didn't appreciate it at all, but I really wasn't as much a fan of that because for me, I'm like, if you really can't go there, then don't go halfway there.
They were giving you a taste of some of the things in life.
But I really didn't. Remember, like I told you, I said my favorite female wrestler from back in the day was Bull Nakano. Cause she actually could get down. You follow what I'm saying? Like, she could wrestle.
Look, we're not taking anything away from that. Look, thankfully Trish Stratus came along too.
Yeah, she got better, right? Because I mean, she certainly had a look. She certainly was a look, but she could go. And then matter of fact, wait a minute, why am I playing Jacqueline? Like, she couldn't wrestle.
True,
right? But so for me, that was kind of cool, but it was like, I see where they were trying to go, but it was like,
but there were some times, bro, that I really thought like, oh, they're censoring this on TV, but if I would have had, this made me want to buy a ticket, and very envious of those in the front row.
Yeah, maybe, but
look, this is a 12-year-old version, right? Of myself here that's speaking.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. For me, I was like, yo, I see where they're trying to go, and I get you gonna see, but like, if you really can't listen, I only know one speed. You know what I'm saying? I only know one speed. All right? I only know what. If you really can't go there, then I'm good on the half visit don't mean nothing. Parking in the garage. You know what I'm saying? Parking on the driveway. But I digress.
Fair enough. Hey, well, look, we're gonna dive right into the first segment that originally I wasn't keen on actually pulling this up. Their viewer discretion is advised. There is no audio here. I will skip over it, but it is visible.
All right.
It is a tell me you did not just say that moment, and it actually comes from none other than Michael Cole. And it is so at Pat McAfee called Gunther a fake king because of the controversial ending on Saturday, which we'll get into. The King of the Ring overheard him and wasn't pleased. Now, kiss
the ass.
Yep, kiss the ass. Pat is trying to talk his way out of it in Chop City.
Hey, run. You want to run through that finish again?
Yeah, so the finish itself is what everyone is really kind of upset about. Again, for just as a reminder, this was this past weekend with King of the Ring.
King and Queen of the Ring.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct, and Queen. But speaking specifically to the King of the Ring.
Okay.
Final, which was, of course, Randy Orton and Gunther. And so here's the thing. We are accustomed to Orton selling. And we're also accustomed to him being in multiple pay-per-views throughout his career.
Right.
The power of the RKO.
Right.
And here's the thing. He hit him with an RKO not just once, but twice. And not only that, it was the second time that is really what came under question. Where basically Gunther didn't completely go down the way that he should have.
Okay.
And he kicked right out right away.
Okay.
And then followed it up with basically with pinning him, at which point, of course, it was also painfully obvious to what I would have said to all. It would have been visible to all that Orton's shoulder was up.
Orton's shoulder was up, but the pin counted.
Yeah,
right?
and so it was clearly, the shoulder was up clearly, during the pinfall attempt. It of course, it did take away from me a lot of the, Gunther. We've praised him for how he's spoken and carried himself demeanor wise.
See, you know what? No, see, now you in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Now, see, no, you in trouble, Double J. Because you've been speaking. You've been speaking for the entire fan base that's basically called me an idiot for not understanding and believing in Gunther. Here it is, the pay-per-view of pay-per-views where he arrives, and then this happens.
I know.
So wait a minute. So have I been gaslit this entire time?
Man, look,
this Memorial Day fire, or nah? You tell me.
I got cooked like a speaking of fire.
Yeah.
Like a marshmallow that a child just left.
Yes.
Yes. Can I still eat it? Probably not a good idea.
You tell me.
Look, man, I was not expecting this either. I honestly expected better. The overall quality of the match was actually very good. Unfortunately, this just felt I can't grade this with our 5-point scale the way that I would have, because we talk about execution so much.
Yes.
Like even D-Runk highlighted it as somebody that hasn't followed the brand in a while, but has a very clear understanding of what the past was like and where the present is now. And so when you see some of this, it just, you cringe a little.
Yeah. Now here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Raw is going on right now.
That's right.
Gunther is Raw, right? Is Randy Orton?
Oh yeah.
Randy Orton is
Orton SmackDown.
See, they got to find a way to maybe. You think they could hodgepodge it and run it back? No,
because of how tonight has been unfolding.
Okay, they've moved on from it. Like this is the thing that
they botched it, and it is what it is.
See,
keep this train moving.
Y'all told me, y'all Gunther this, Gunther that, Gunther this, Gunther that, and I was buying that. And here it is, and now. So now, am I a fool too? Because remember, this is the Gunther y'all been telling me that I ain't been seeing. Right? So now I done got on board. I done got my Gunther ticket. I done took the ride with you. I'm on the cart just with you on this little train called Gunther. And the Gunther fan base train, got a ticket. You told me, get a ticket, enjoy the ride. First stop,
we blew it
USA.
Here, man.
I'll tell you what, man. See,
$60,000 car with ball tires.
Let me explain something to you. People at home, this is what you need to understand. Okay, this should be a case. My experience should tell you, trust your instincts. Okay, your instincts. Don't let the fans. Don't let anybody tell you. Okay. Trust your instincts next time. Double J. You ain't got nah. You got cause see, you got all these weeks of me. Oh, I'm on the Gunter train now. I can't believe it. I don't see it. You got all these
look, I told you the Kool-Aid only works if everybody drink it. And you were talking about the flavor and everything.
And then what did I do? 2 glass. Just man, I'm just like the Kool-Aid man, just like the Family Guy episode, just bursting through the courtroom. Oh yeah, this is man.
I know, and that's look at that. See, we loop. Unfortunately, D Runk you were riding shotgun.
Yes,
D Runk was in the back. We didn't.
Right. Look at where we are, and this is where we get. Now, you know what? He never even heard of the guy.
No, and he knows how this went down.
Yes.
Look at that. It ruined it.
Listen. Well, they're gonna fix it. Okay. He's gonna get better from here. Now, if we're shooting on this, who botched? Was Gunther supposed to do more to make sure his shoulder was down? How did Randy Orton, with all of his years of experience, realize he was up too far and not address it? Was the expectation that, hey, Gunther need to secure that and then make sure the pin falls, or what? Or can they just run it back on another pay-per-view?
Look, I don't think they're going to run it back on another pay-per-view. Orton did a great job of overselling, or just selling in general, the fact that, oh, my knees hurt, my neck and my back, like
easy.
Right. And unfortunately, I'm putting this one on Gunther.
How?
He didn't put enough weight on Orton to put his shoulder down. I mean, look, you're in the thick of things, and you want Randy to let me make sure both my, let me do one of these on you. Like, come what?
We got to see that again, man. I'm gonna have to review the tape, man, and then we're gonna have to comment on this. Yeah. So be on the lookout. We're gonna be commenting on this one here.
So just to kind of give you an idea, paint a better picture of what occurred immediately after, was that Triple H revealed backstage that Damian Priest was going to defend his title against Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle on June 15th.
Right.
So again, now we're talking about we're going overseas again.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going right back to England again.
Which, of course, Scotland is relative. That's our Michigan to Ohio here.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, okay. Now, see, this is a good point. Matter of fact, where was Randy at? Was it UFC that was in St. Louis that I seen Randy Orton at?
Possibly. Well, didn't I say he's from St. Louis? He's from St. Louis, Missouri. Right. Oh, yeah. He said if the shoulder was up, it's because he purposely did it because Gunther did something weird earlier in the match. See, you've got more smart mark wisdom, D-Runk, than you let on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, 1,000% on that.
Yeah. He be acting like he a casual, like, oh, I don't really watch the product. Well, why would you know? Like, yeah, if he did it on purpose because Gunther did something early in the match. Like, hey, yo, that's a level of wisdom here about wrestling that not too many people would have who call themselves casual, D-Runk. So yeah, you wiser than you let on. See. I know now. Yeah. He bidding 3 all the time. You're gonna make me carry the book, so I can see how you play spades right here. You just gonna underbid all the time. You're just gonna be overbooking every time, every hand with you. All right, I got you. All right, D-Runk.
So speaking of over delivering potentially,
okay.
Yesterday there was a new TNT champion.
Yes.
And I, of course, had no choice but to get over my feelings of the past and let bygones be bygones, at least
Hey,
for
they
the
needed
moment.
to help that. They listen. It didn't work out the way that they wanted to. That's why they did that. They had to hush it up because it didn't work out the way they wanted to. I don't know what they thought was going to help their position in the matter when the guy who's bigger than the brand who's as big as that brand is now on the bigger brand, and people want to see him. Like, you thought that was going to work out for you? Like, how did you lock the field? Like, let me know how that worked out for you.
Right. No, completely agree. And so here's what occurred, and this should be a just beautiful image that D-Runk even should recognize from that Attitude Era. But so basically, for those that are unaware, didn't follow the AEW program, basically, as many know him as the Edge, was in need of some assistance. And that came by none other than Gangrel.
Gangrel, a licensed Marvel comic.
That actually is true as well. And of course, he was successful. He is still himself. Adam Copeland is.
Yes.
And he may have actually sustained an injury because of the dive off of the cage.
Oh no.
Yeah, so something to keep an eye on for those that are watching, weekly. But what are your thoughts on this? I know you weren't the biggest Brood guy.
No, I was not a big fan of the Brood at all. I never bought in.
This is why we do this show, man.
Yeah, I never bought in.
We are not always going to agree here, folks. That does not make for good TV. Like,
but here's the thing, though. Like, I've gotten older. Like, I can respect it and I appreciate that it did resonate with somebody, right? And then for the idea of under me knowing how Edge was first presented to us, right? Part of the Brood. Then you think that you know me. Then the emo loner type, and then he became rated R superstar. Like, I've watched enough of Edge to see his progression. So it was a great nod to the past to understand that he never really forgot his roots, and that the Brood, that connection that he still have was someone that he appreciated. So and like I said, I just didn't connect. It just never connected with me. The Brood never connected with me. Gangrel never connected with me. But that don't mean that the guy wasn't a decent wrestler, a good wrestler, or he didn't provide something that genuinely connects with fans of the Attitude Era. So I kind of like it. I respect it. You know what I mean? It's a great nod to the past.
Absolutely. For me, any homage is a fantastic one. However, my cup is about half full on this one, and it's because I wanted to see this when WrestleMania occurred.
What do you mean?
To me, this opportunity should have happened under the WWE umbrella.
Okay.
And yes, you're absolutely right. You hit a home run with how Edge's character has evolved throughout time. And that's the part that is always the true element that these guys as professionals want to, that's what they're striving for.
Right.
If they can, because that's how they stick around.
And bring that comment from D-Runk back up. No, the next one. So that way we can help him out. Nah, that's where Edge started. Gangrel.
Yeah, but that was still to me. This could be sticking around though. I don't know.
Well, when you say Edge is the Brood now, I don't know that Edge is the Brood now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
What we're saying is the Brood was first. Gangrel was first. Edge and Christian evolved from the Brood.
Right. So these dudes, they used to come up from the ground. Arguably one of the dopest intros
It was.
That was the thing. They had a Ring of Fire, and he always said, and I learned this recently, he would be smiling all the time. And he said he was always smiling because he thought the intro music was that dope. And I couldn't disagree with the guy. I'm smiling right now, saying it.
Yeah, man, you know what? That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, their intro was cool. The intro music was cool. It's just the character just was flat to me. The Gangrel was just was flat to me. I just didn't connect with it.
But this is the part that D-Runk is talking about, the difference of then versus now. And so we are talking about a different brand, of course, in AEW that arguably you literally heard a week ago. We didn't talk about it on the show, but I'll bring it up now. Someone in the crowd said, "Who wrote this expletive?" So maybe the storyline, going back to something like this instead, it helps be a little bit better of a filler for them.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I think so. I think it has potential for sure. And I know that's a dangerous word in any application, right? Potential, but it does. And again, you're half full. I'm a bit more. It's surprising. I'm a bit more optimistic about it. I'm a bit more appreciative about it than you are, it seems. And I don't know what that's for. I don't know what that's about.
I can't believe it. That's all.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm just glad that I was here to see it.
Yeah.
Like I said, that the only problem for me was that it should have happened just a couple years ago.
It should have happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah, when Edge came back, and again, we've all I feel like my fandom, if you will, it sure kind of predated him, but as far as with the Attitude Era product in the Monday Night Wars and just in that particular time frame, I certainly recall that. And I would also say, to my knowledge, that was arguably my first show and they were a part of it.
Okay.
So that's where, yes, it absolutely is singing that sweet nostalgia song for me.
Gotcha.
Now, see, look at this. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, that sounds to me like you were, I mean, other than Bret Hart, of course. Where's he ranked for you?
Who, Edge?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Edge is actually, you know what? Edge is actually higher than I think. No, because and D-Runk had captured it exactly. He could go with the best of them. Like he had a legit feud with the Undertaker. That's not something.
He won as a heel, bro.
Yeah, yeah, and that is surprising considering at the point where he reached his peak from where he came. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would have thought the guy that was aside, you know what I'm saying, the henchman for the Brood would become who he became? I mean, he knew it, but did we? You know what I'm saying? Did we expect that? Did we anticipate that? And the fact that what was most surprising for me about Edge is that, man, his mic work. I think that's probably his most underrated attribute. Like, his mic work is like The Rock, Chris Jericho, Edge. Wait a minute, The Rock, Chris Jericho, Steve Austin, Edge. Those four in the Attitude Era. I think that's cheating to say it, because I don't even know who else could be up there, because those were the four standouts. I don't think anybody else had mic work like the four of those guys.
You know what? Whoa. You don't. I mean, look, Ric Flair is one, but not Attitude Era. What about Triple H? He said some things, bro. That
he always had a mic. Okay, him always having one. I mean, no, he was good. He was good, but all right, name a memorable thing from him.
Well, we could do the hot dog thing, where hey, Lady Sean's over there. And how about the one where he was talking? Oh man, I just seen.
Hey, who did Edge say? He said you are like you are. He said you and the vacuum are the same because you have the incredible ability to both suck and blow at the same time.
No, and see that? That's what I'm saying. There was one he said it to Lita. He said, "I'm going to give you $1 to either dance or you could get off the stage."
Oh.
Look, if that's still standing out, and that was when he was with I almost said Legacy. Oh man. Evolution.
He said Legacy. Evolution.
Yeah. So
I like I said, The Rock, Jericho, Austin, Edge. Those are my big four tonight. Mick Foley was great on the mic too. Mick Foley, Triple H.
Underrated Mick Foley.
Yeah, Mick Foley was underrated on the mic. Mick Foley, Triple H, Shawn Michaels are in the next tier. But those four.
Think about, hang on. I brought this up before.
Yeah.
About how Mick Foley beating The Rock became like how it backfired on Monday Nitro.
That was hilarious.
But at the same time, it was because of the promo he cut, like how raw it actually was. Like it was real to the point where I actually believe it was an accurate reflection. Because when you hear him talk about his affliction that he had during that time in his life, and you go back and listen to what the character was saying, it really sounded like it was applicable to the guy.
Right.
Oh, I see. I'm gonna take myself off the screen for this. Go ahead.
No. Right. Just here, Kelly. Acknowledge Edge mic work, man. Any new supporters, y'all go ahead and straight right now. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. But no, it's true. It is true. That's what surprised me about Edge. Like, he came a long way. I didn't see this from him. I thought that he didn't really have good mic work. I thought that he was shy. I didn't really know him. But then for him to become the rated R superstar during the Ruthless Aggression era and to become who he was, and then the idea of him figuring out how to successfully navigate the real life heat he had with Jeff Hardy. Oh no, Matt Hardy.
Well, and you remember Lita she started with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah,
that was his real life wife at one point in time.
Yes. For them to be able to, that was, I mean, am I going to have sympathy for Edge? Not necessarily.
Look, a man that has been married to Lita and Beth Phoenix, I don't think needs our sympathy.
No, I don't. Yeah, Beth Phoenix.
Yes.
Oh man. All right. Yo, Edge
winning
might
outside of the ring as well.
Yo, Edge might just moved up on the all-time list for me, period. Like, oh, okay. Wow. That man lived a life. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, but to be able to handle that, to navigate that, especially when you're the guy that did it, but you still got to work with the people that did it. And I think there was a bit of understanding the position he put Matt in, which I give him respect for. It's like, you did him wrong. And in order to make it work for everybody, they're putting this guy in a program with you where not only, like, I pinned the both of y'all. You get what I'm saying?
Gosh, bro.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
Like, for real. Like,
Man, Oh my God.
Yeah, for Matt, I mean, for Edge to be in that position, and I think he handled it to be able to handle that with the level of decorum that I think he did. You know what I'm saying? And to give, like, man, you know, that's kind of to know that, like, yo, I don't feel bad for doing it because I do feel a genuine thing for her. But at the same time, my guy, you know what I mean? It had to go this way. So I do recognize that this is a tough spot for you. And I think he handled himself that way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And really credit to Matt Hardy as well for being able to put up with it. This wasn't the first time, you know, a public kind of relationship then changed while the performers are still working together. If we think about it, right? Tragic.
Oh yeah, look,
Kevin Sullivan.
There's been a number. I mean, look at going back to the Macho Man.
Well, not well, yeah, because
hey man, that was like the public. Or I mean, they would, you know, there was a lot of outside things that would occur with them, and you know, kind of you know, to abbreviate it, just some DA things.
Yeah.
And so, right, like, so it may have not been, say, a third party, but there was, to my understanding, and or at least rumored to be, and that type of thing. So I don't even want to kind of speculate on that part of it, but so just sitting to your point, though, these guys are in really the big moments of their careers,
right?
And that's what ultimately you got to put all that aside. And we've seen a number of rivalries that these people couldn't. Art was imitating life for real. They couldn't talk to each other anymore. That, you know, they started to take things personal, and so this already was. So it you know, again, interesting. You know, absolutely want to give credit to Edge and the career that he's had. Obviously, very decorated and celebrated. But we're gonna take a quick time out here and then wrap up the rest of King of the Ring.
Yep,
and then dive right into some Raw
for sure.
Okay, Cunningham, you watching the Shop Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Mars Man. We're at Commercial Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report. Oh, you're Jay Nada, you're watching the Shop Report.
Bryson Key, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
I'm Homie Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report.
All right, just like that, we are back again, wrapping up the remainder of King and Queen of the Ring, for that matter. We did have it official. As much as I wanted Lyra to be the Queen of the Ring and get that push, unfortunately, we had also questioned. Well, look, we got the matchup that we had predicted, and so for those of us in the comment section that hold us accountable, we did get that right. Again, with no other prior insight, I definitely want to hone in on that part because this was purely off of at one point, a painstaking process to even see the results of something, let alone to think that far ahead with who was actually going to win. So, and that's on a show that you can find, you know, in the not too far distant past. So, your Queen of the Ring is Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. All right.
So this, just for additional context, it was good. Obviously, David and Goliath with Lyra being the, she looked the part. As I've said that, previously, there was no huge botches, if you will, or anything like that.
Right.
And but this sets her up as the challenger for Bayley's WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam.
So now, is it confirmed that's the direction she's going?
Absolutely.
Wait a minute.
Absolutely.
When was that confirmed?
To my understanding, that evening.
Oh, okay. So she mentioned it as
from what I understand, that was because of her being a SmackDown product.
What I mean is, King of the Ring gets a title shot. Is that what we're getting at?
Yes. That was announced, I want to say last week. Maybe
King and Queen of the Ring get title shots for sure.
That was the cherry on top that Triple H said at a press conference. It may have been like Friday, dude, like post show. I'm going to give ourselves a little bit of credit here because we would have probably said something about it.
Okay, that was all right. Cool. Make it worth something. Make it
add
worth
some
something.
Juice. Yeah,
give it some juice. Right. So if that's the case, well, let's stick to the women's. Let's stick to the Queen of the Ring. Nia Jax is going to challenge Bayley for the title.
You got it. Mm-hmm.
Good luck, Bayley. Good luck and Godspeed. Good luck and Godspeed. Nia Jax on the challenge for the title. All right. What do you think?
Well, I'm again, if I were to go on my 5-point scale, I would give it a 4. I thought they delivered.
Okay.
Additionally, I would say the way that the production side of it set up Lyra was as if they had listened to me.
Really?
And I thank them for it. They made her look like a superstar.
Okay.
And dare I say, because I've watched NXT, right?
Yep.
I could see it. And that's what, that's the first step in all of this is being able to do that. But of course, does it translate? We just went through the King match and saw even some of a seasoned veteran in every sense of the word. We're talking some dry rub here. And well,
pause.
Pause.
Yo, hey, we need Becky G's cookies after that one, bro.
Like, I don't want to subject the cookies. We're gonna go merch.
What it do, sports fans? It's your man BSJ from the Shop Report. And guess what? The shop is now open for business, baby. If you're on Facebook, go to our fan page, The Shop Report, click on more, and then shop to view all products. Or if you're on Instagram, click on the shop tab to see all our products. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm selling merch here.
Hey, look, we had to get, we're live for
sure. Yeah.
So, needless to say, she looked the part, but from the moment that the draft occurred,
yes,
we both brought up the very likelihood that, unfortunately, this intersection, that old cliche Western saying, there ain't room for the both of us. And there really wasn't. That this was Nia Jax's moment.
Yes.
What say you? So who do you got in this? I know you said good luck to Bayley, but she's the role model.
Nia Jax is not gonna win. All right. Shooting on this. Nia Jax not gonna win Queen of the Ring and then not become a champ.
Why? Because of the title shot caveat?
Well, I think because of the push. I think, I don't know what it is about Nia Jax that they want her to do well. And
are you Gunthering her?
We're
gonna make that a term.
She's had Nia Jax is a name where like she's such a dominant figure in the women's division. She's such a dominant figure in the women's WWE.
Okay.
It's hard for her. Like, why give her the push if she's not going to run with that title? I think they got other. What I'm saying is, I think there are other plans for Bayley, and I think resting with Nia, because here's what I'm thinking: Nia keeps that thing until Bianca or Jade are ready. And that's what I think. I'm gonna get the title from her. They want to get it off from Nia. I think it'll be a bigger sell if it's removed from Nia versus Bayley.
Wow,
that's what I think. So again, and this where if we're shooting on it, Nia is a better figure. I think maybe the argument is made. Nia is more formidable to keep the title until Bianca or Jay are ready.
Well, I can't disagree with you. I actually love how that would line up as well. So yeah, I like the idea. We're gonna shoot on this one, or at least I will with you. Moving along to the triple threat match that was for the Intercontinental title. Again, that was Sami Zayn, Big Bronson Reed.
Yep.
And of course, the heel, Dark Chad Gable. Zayn, of course, is who retained, but what it basically, Otis clotheslined. You know, he was being instructed to by, of course, by Gable, and you know, ended up taking out his coach,
right,
in the process. And so, you know, it was certainly an interesting match. What I will point out, the crowd gave us some "You suck" chants for Gable.
Yeah. What do you think? Is that authentic "You suck" or the heel turn is working?
I would say it's working to a T, because it wasn't just "You suck." It was "You suck." Like, it was in the harmony of.
Oh, it was the Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so that to me says, we, of course, once again, I almost don't like doing that. But we're toot toot, you know, like we were right again.
Well, yeah.
So I'm all for it. Look, Sami Zayn's very popular globally. Yes. I get it. I will say, during the match, I thought there was an actual injury to Dark Gable. But Zayn hit a Blue Thunder Bomb on Reed, and then of course his classic move, the hell of a kick, ultimately is what put him over the top. And so I think the Alpha Academy, as we've talked about before, I think they're on their way out. Hello, you know, bring back someone from the 90s. You know, of course, different culture, different rules. So the member of, and I'm using member on purpose, of the Alpha Academy was dripped in gold. And I naturally had my Austin Powers gold member moment.
Yeah.
You know, I love gold, you know, one of those. Like,
right.
So just worth noting for those that, yes, that gold spandex may actually and probably should continue outside of the Middle East as well for her. It was not bad. But nevertheless, continuing on, we're going with the Women's World Championship, which was Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan.
All right. Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan.
So, for just some added
you know
flavor.
what? There's a problem here. I'm going to tell you right now. I was not able to see this match. So, I wasn't able to see the match. So you got to run this through me.
So right away, then I'm going to point to start you out with this.
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio revealed that he flew to Jeddah to ensure Liv Morgan did not win the championship.
Whoa.
Of course, for those that are unfamiliar, that was Mommy's title.
Yeah.
Who is currently on the Mend.
That's weird. Call her Mommy. That's Ronald Reagan vibes.
Dude, I'm not that old.
I am. Okay, I'm just let you know. That's why it's weird.
Oh, well, I'm having a Blink 182 moment. What's my age again?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. So getting back to it. Look, Morgan, of course, is the heel. There's great chemistry between, the man and Liv. The near falls were intense.
Yep.
There was interference, of course, by Dominic.
Okay.
It was intended to make him look kind of more along the lines of a fool, I would say, or just but it certainly leaves, begs kind of to creates more questions about that stemming from what we pointed out, which was that interesting purple colored headband.
Yeah.
Liv had.
We talked about that, right?
And so, of course, Liv ultimately walked away with it. And I would say, here's the thing. During the match, too, and from a commentary standpoint, they were talking about a lot of we brought up Jey Uso not winning, main events.
Right.
And more recently, with specific to pay-per-views, Randy Orton's now created a losing streak.
Okay.
And so, coincidentally, the commentary was talking about Liv Morgan's second place finishes. So, not only that was her first shot at a singles championship in almost 2 years, or maybe it's been over 2 years, but it's been long enough, right?
Right.
And strangely, despite that, this was arguably the first time, despite her being a champion before that, everyone felt like she could actually win it.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, so any kind of thoughts on this now? Because to me, like, one more step into that or digging the dagger a little bit deeper into the Judgment Day, or, as a fraction of a faction.
Right.
And additionally, where we could see Dominic and Liv go, like, this storyline could be all over the place. How do you want to break this one down? You could cover them all.
So wait. So Liv lost?
No, Liv won.
Liv won the title. All right. Liv won the title. Well, okay. Remember, I thought I had brought this up a couple weeks back. I said, man, it seems to be a lot of factions between the brands. I know the brands are so big now that they have a full roster of talent. So it would be a bit unfair to look at the volume of factions and combine them all when really the factions represent one brand. So you get what I'm saying? You don't see the factions across Raw and SmackDown.
Well, that's and absolutely right. We had what Judgment Day has done as a faction, and that was without Adam Copeland, who we've talked about, the Edge, who was the original founder of the Judgment Day, of course. That was without his accolades. So I do want to point that out. That list would have been even greater if we would have incorporated him.
So you know what? When you say that just now it makes sense. It's got to be over with.
Whoa.
It's got to be over with. the creator of said, see, WWE has a way of presenting itself where they assume that the Men in Black stick worked. Okay, so they don't let you remind you that things existed before they told you it did. But if you watch it, you know that it has, right? For example, why it was like, it was a given that Roman Reigns was going to have to deal with Seth Rollins at some point during the Tribal Chief run, during this culmination of this story, right? So yes, you were going to hear the Shield music play at some point, okay? Because we can't forget that. Even though for the last few years, even while they've been in the ring, they may have hinted at it, but you didn't see a vignette or a program with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns dealing with the Shield, right? You didn't see a prolonged reference to that. You just saw Seth freaking Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins wasn't in the Shield. You get what I'm saying? Seth Rollins was in the Shield. Seth freaking Rollins wasn't in the Shield. The Tribal Chief was not in the Shield. Roman Reigns was. Follow what I'm saying? So for all the work that is done to only have the memory of said superstar or said program to exist from the point that they want you to exist, you're still going to remember things that happened before. If Edge created Judgment Day, and Edge is now significantly moved away because he's in another brand, he's in another league, and they've already firmly established himself as a major headliner in that league. The brand that he created has to go. All right, think of it this way: the Four Horsemen had other iterations, right? The Four Horsemen with Luger, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, and who was the fourth? Who was the fourth with Luger? That was the second iteration of the four. That was the second iteration of the Four Horsemen. But the point was, Ric Flair was the Four Horsemen, and he was there for both. If the guy that created the thing is not there, like what was DX if Triple H wasn't there? It didn't exist.
Well, right, of course.
Right. Now, even though Shawn Michaels had went on hiatus because he had a significant injury, and at one point in time, he probably wasn't going to wrestle again.
Oh, it was the other Anderson, by the way.
It was even with Luger.
No. This was
who was the Four Horsemen with? It was Luger.
I was thinking of the original four, which was Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and then
Ole Anderson,
and
Tully Blanchard. Right, those were the four, and then the Four Horsemen that had Luger,
Sting, Sid Vicious.
Was the that was the Four Horsemen as well?
Yep. From Sting was 89 to 90, though.
Okay, got you. Okay, so Sting, Luger, Vicious, and Flair, right?
Correct. And you had, because the later years would have been, Paul Roma, Brian Pillman.
Right.
Benoit, Chris Benoit.
It was Flair. It was Flair in the Four Horsemen at that point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. So if he's not there, then it doesn't exist. So that's where the Judgment Day.
But wait a minute. So now, whoa. So wait, because coincidentally, the Judgment Day, we're talking about Adam Copeland at one point, again, as the founding member.
Yes.
Has since, of course, has vacated it.
Right.
And every faction that you're talking about, as we know it, could never exist under this context.
What do you mean?
Dude, you just said it. Like, there's no way you have the Four Horsemen in any capacity without Ric Flair.
Correct.
There's no way you could have D-Generation X without
Shawn or Hunter. Right.
I would argue that you could take Shawn out of it because you had Shawn and the Rockers at one point.
Yeah, no. And then like I said, when he went after WrestleMania 14, he essentially retired because he had the significant back injury.
That's right.
And so he was out of action. And so Triple H Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, X-Pac,
Yep.
and
China.
and China, they were DX. So DX still existed. It still wasn't.
Did you ever have the NWO without Hulk? Well, Hulk came after, but no, they weren't the NWO then. They were the Outsiders before Hulk.
No. You had the Outsiders. But what I'm saying is, if it wasn't Hogan, Hall, or Nash, it didn't really exist. Even when they tried it with Bret Hart.
So that's a very good. Okay, so I would say they're closer because a lot of again, as we talked about, legacy without Randy Orton couldn't be possible.
Right.
Evolution without Hunter.
Right.
Because Dave left, of course, and then had the rivalry with Hunter. So
yeah. So it has to be over. And I think because all of these guys, save Dominic, who I think is just young.
Wait a minute. He's been doing this since he was 7 years old, where his teachers really thought.
You saw WrestleMania 40. Don't even finish this sentence. Don't even finish. I'm not even gonna let you rant on me like that.
But now wait a minute. I'm gonna redeem myself with one possible what if. One possible what if.
What?
Rey Mysterio, which should have been on. Actually, I should have brought this up in a different segment, coincidentally. Was on record of saying he would put his mask on the line. Sound familiar?
Uh-huh.
Now, for those that don't know, in the culture of being a luchador,
yep,
being demasked means it's the death of you.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
So when WCW wanted that to happen,
yep,
it was a big thing.
It was a big deal.
Absolutely. And that's actually one of the few rivalries that carried over, that cross-branded.
Wait a minute now. Who did he have that rivalry with? Was that all? It wasn't Ultimo Dragon, right?
It was with Eddie.
It was with Eddie, right. and that's why he was able to put the mask on again. I think only a guy like Eddie would have been able to make that work. Why? I'm guessing because of the respect that Eddie Guerrero has garnered as a lucha libre wrestler, as a wrestler, period. The idea that the way it goes is that, demasking is over with. You know what I'm saying? But they were able to let that slide because of the chaos and the trash product that WCW had turned itself into before they left for WWE.
Also, shout out to Lita one more time, because Lita came from that environment. For a lot of people don't know, like her flying, high flying acrobatics and stuff. She actually had spent time in Mexico early in her career.
Really?
Yes. And that was how she knew she really wanted to give this to go. Oh, obviously, of course, we talked about Trish Stratus, who was a fitness model.
Yes,
and
she was a fitness model. Yep.
But she had a following, a fan base that was like, "You can do this," and she was like, "Maybe I should give it a go." And I
bet she did. Yep.
Well, she, there was a young teenager who certainly was grateful for it.
Yep. I bet
those vignettes.
We'll call them that. We'll call them that. All right, let's move on.
Anyway, so you were convinced that this thing is done regardless.
Yeah, they don't need it. They don't need it. Right. All right. So if we're shooting on this, right, what does a stable do? A stable helps to build a character, build your character, or build you up to a point where you can leave. Why does Judgment Day they don't seem to be moving together. They don't seem to be moving in a position that I think and I hope that the bloodline will get back to, in terms of saying, hey, we're going to establish, we're going to dominate the WWE universe because we're going to bring all the titles to us. And the way to become a champion is to go through Judgment Day in some form of fashion, right? this is not happening, right? This happened with DX. Shawn Michaels was the WWE and European champion at the same time, I believe. New Age Outlaws were tag team titles.
That's right. Yeah.
Hunter was in the Intercontinental title conversation. But the idea of it is you didn't see that they were going to the road to success had to go through DX. It doesn't seem to be moving that way for Judgment Day. I don't see where they're saying, hey, we want to bring the belts to us because we are that team, we are that clique, we are that group. It just seemed like they seem to be moving in different directions. Now that Ripley is injured, and on the mend, she's not. Has she been on the programming at all? Like, is she there even like in the sling or no? She probably got to take time away. Obviously, if they had to have surgery, she's got to do physical therapy and stuff like that. So she's on the mend. So she's off the screen. My point is, and then we got Finn Balor, right? Judgment Day, right?
That's right.
These guys can do it. They can do fine on their own. And there are directions for them to go. I really would love for Finn Balor to get back in the world title conversation again. I would love for Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes to have a great match at a fall pay-per-view.
Okay, so you just talked about building up.
Yeah.
But couldn't you make the case that that this has done the opposite for Finn?
It has. You know what? You're right. You're right. I don't know. I want to know, did they sour on him, or did he do something that they don't feel like I don't know what happened. I know he had that injury.
Come on.
I don't know what happened. Like he was the first Universal Champion, got injured in the match, but after that, I don't know what happened. Right. Yeah, I think it's done the opposite for him. You're absolutely right. He seems to be more like a mid-carder, and I think he's worthy of more. I mean, think about it, right? Think about it. Like I said, if I say world title picture right now, world heavyweight champion picture, WWE champion.
No, and you know what's crazy about this? Like now, like we just talked about, like on a past show, that really was Logan Paul the best that you could do, and Finn Balor was out there, and we've seen what he can do.
Well, no, see what I just felt like they was forcing that thing with Logan Paul. I don't know if it was kind of like riding the wave of the promotion of the energy drink or something like that. I just think that was way too early for what you're building with Logan Paul. You get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like
the energy drink.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It just seemed way too early. Like, what I'm saying is, you got to make me believe that the dude might lose. There was no way I'm going to believe that AJ Styles was going to beat Cody Rhodes after finishing the story. There's no way. Then to follow that up with a title versus title match. Like, I'm not gonna believe it. Like, nah, you put me in the ring. Like, have him do not. I would say like this: if you're trying to figure out an opponent, you know what I'm saying? Have him defend the title on Raw.
Something.
Yeah, have him defend the title on Raw. Have him have a match. Hey, do non-title matches. Have him in a non-title match with Damian Priest.
I mean, they kind of did that with this one.
Nah, bro. Like, he don't, to be a champion, you ain't got to defend it all the time.
I just don't think you could go to that place, and in fairness to them,
okay,
and put out. Now I'm leaning towards. Is he? Oh, Barbershop Jay is gonna just hate what I'm going to say. Is he that big of a star? Is Logan Paul that big of a star that, and I'm going with yes here, and that's what I said is he's going to absolutely hate.
Okay.
That they were like, this is why this match has to happen. Specifically there.
That's what I'm saying. I believe it was Right. This was in Jeddah, right?
Correct. Yep.
That Logan Paul was in that match to I'm telling you, it was about the energy drink. It was about his deal to have that product on a showcased in an international arena.
He's trying to crack the Middle Eastern market. That's what this is about. He gets a title shot.
No. Maybe not crack the Middle Eastern market, but have Middle Eastern investors help expand the product domestically.
Then put him in the front row. Like, come on. Hey, sorry, green shirt guy. You got to sit this one out. We need KSI in the prime bottle for this.
Listen, explain it then. Give me the reason. Explain it then. Tell me then, Double J, why was he? Tell me then, why 2 months removed from WrestleMania is it a title versus a guy with only a year's worth of competition?
He's a superstar.
Is he?
Hey, look, the man is going to fight Mike Tyson in a month.
His brother is.
No. Remember, there's a stipulation where it is
I'm
like
not buying that, bro. They're not doing that. They're not doing that.
They squashed that idea.
I hope so. I certainly hope so.
All right.
Oh,
okay. Well, he did fight Floyd Mayweather.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Oh man, look. I get it. I get it. It is asking a purist to drink their vomit. And oh man, it is what it is. I just think with this particular faction right now, they are fractured. They are very much on life support. It is crushed who Finn was and is really, and what he could be, he's been at one point in time.
Right.
That's what's been really kind of disenchanting to me is throughout the success of this faction.
Yeah.
He really, when he did, I almost want to call it the Joker thing. All right, that was a little, I was like, but he delivered on how, on his in-ring ability.
Right, because he has that.
So he didn't need the gimmick, if you will.
He did not.
And he had gotten over the top before, yes, with the injury, but to ultimately get the match that we had gotten with Logan and Cody, it was like he was completely overlooked again, so far to the point of like, man, you fell off that much. Like I view it as like an athlete, right? An athlete that was not only just a starter, but like a dude that you literally were game planning against, that had accolades as not just like a contributor. We're not talking Robert Horry, Big Shot Bob. We're saying like someone who literally was the guy, and like you're fallen off that much, like almost like the big cactus. If we wanted to do it to Shaq, like nobody feared that version of Shaq anymore.
Right, because he had aged out, and Finn Balor hasn't. But that's why I think it has to end. I think a character like Finn Balor is languishing, and he's capable of much more. And there's no position for him if you have him in a faction like this. When the major titles, he's not even in the mid-card title picture, but he should be. Right?
Whoa, what?
He's not even in the mid-card title picture, but he at least should be. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn.
That seems to, at the least.
Finn Balor versus Logan Paul, United States, U.S. title.
No. Even better, at least Sami Zayn.
That's what I say. Yeah, Sami Zayn for the IC title, right? He's capable of that. He's capable of delivering that, and I think it's languishing. But you know what? That is the challenge of current day WWE. You have a bevy of talent, and you only have enough belts and stories to go around.
No, then bring back the hardcore championship. Let's WBO this thing, man. Come on.
Can you build quality programs and matches without belts? Is the question.
Well, okay. So then I'm going to ask you then, because what isn't he doing now? Besides the point that we've both highlighted, which is not be part of any kind of title conversation whatsoever, it appears.
Right. But he's not a part of a meaningful program either. Why him and AJ Styles not doing something?
Was AJ Styles?
LA Knight.
Well, I think they're dropping the ball with him too, but that's a different look. Oh man, you know what? And I see a picture of Dolph Ziggler.
Who is Dolph Ziggler? Which one?
I think all of them right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Who? Right. Which one? Right. But that, again, that's it. But here's the thing. As I see an ad for NXT across my screen.
Oh, I love it.
Here's your point, right? Bringing NXT as a viable option with some entertaining talent to create meaningful product, and where your best talent can be showcased, right? That's not in the main event picture, not in the main event picture, not in the main show picture, but still great talent for them to be able to showcase that, right? NXT champ versus Finn Balor. Because what are you gonna do with him?
Is this real life?
Well, what are you gonna do with him? Like I said, can you have meaningful titles without? Can you have meaningful programs without a belt? WWE right now they've got 2 brands, 30 superstars apiece. They got 60 superstars. And they've got talent that's work that we want to see good matches with. We want to see good matches.
So we have a spoil of riches, right? Now.
Yeah, we do. Right. And then some riches gonna get spoiled. Right? You done been to the farmer's market on a Saturday. You done got the fresh apples, and you done got so many apples. Now you done forgot they in there. Now you go back because you remember that you had these apples from the fresh farmer's market. Now you look at them and then they look like the worms.
Oh,
right.
But I'm hearing you correctly, and I remember once upon a time pitching, especially during the draft, that they could leverage this third program.
Yep. What did I say about it?
You said absolutely not.
No.
It's supposed to be a developmental program.
Supposed to be. Yep. It's supposed to be a developmental program. So but the idea that NXT. Go ahead.
No. Continue.
Well, at this point, I guess I'm resigned to agree with you, and I don't mind that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't Barbershop Jay. I can agree with you and then not feel like it's the end of the show. No. he just take it straight. Now it's the idea that, all right, what can you do? Because the problem that I said is, what would Finn Balor gain by going to NXT? What would a Finn Balor gain by going to NXT? What would a AJ Styles benefit by going to NXT versus whomever is at NXT having a program with Finn Balor or having a program with AJ Styles makes them ready for SmackDown or Raw.
So let me ask you then, in the same question framing.
Okay.
What do they have to gain from being in either singles or doubles competition in which they take losses?
Well, I don't necessarily know what's about the wins or losses. It's like, is it an interesting program? Right? Storylines. D-Run pointed that out. Storylines are what we're talking about here. Are we seeing Finn Balor doing anything meaningful given the level of talent that he has? No.
But who? Okay, so who does that fall on then? Because you're right. To D-Runk's point as well, talking about the main stars, the main attractions. Like, if we were to Cedar Point this, like, yeah, you're there to now go back and see Top Thrill 2, hopefully.
Right.
However, it's not functional like Cody Rhodes' opponent. But there's still Millennium Force and so on and so forth.
By the way, still the best ride in the park. And you have to ride it at night if you really want the thrill. But that's just me, and I digress.
The theme music for that still very eerily reminiscent to the sound of the Putties from the 90s.
Oh, from Power Rangers. Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, talk about vibes overlooking Lake Erie there.
Yes.
Yeah, you would take that any day of your Midwestern life, and certainly.
By the way, I gotta get there soon because I need a little bit of Top Thrill drag. Not you know what I'm gonna tell you something. We're gonna sidebar. I'm gonna tell you something. I have rode the Top Thrill dragster 0 times.
So you had to go on Aiden's YouTube channel and to watch.
I will never ride the Top Thrill dragster or the Top Thrill dragster 2. I'm never going to ride it.
Even with a fast pass, even with the parent swap.
There's no. I'm not going to ride a ride where I see people, I hear them screaming, I see them, I don't hear them at all, and then I hear them again. I'm never doing it. I know. Nope, it doesn't make no sense.
It views, dude.
When you watch the Top Thrill dragster, this is what you see when you're on the car. You hear
arms.
I see the people. I don't hear them. I'm not good. I'm good on it. Nope. I'm good. I'm good. 17 seconds. I don't care. And then I got to stay in the ride 3.5 hours for 17 seconds.
Hey, look, we're in a fast pass society. Genie pass if you're at Disney. It is worth.
I'm never going to Disney either. Well, you know what? Never say never. I should never say never, but I will say I don't see it in my plans right now. It would be a remarkable set of circumstances.
Look, dude, I'm not built for the lines. I'm one of those, like, I have a set of prereqs. Like, if we're going with me, I'll go. But if you want me to participate, then we gotta, wave to everybody as we're passing by.
Yeah. So, I mean, they basically, what you're saying is an amusement park experience for you alone is going to be $130 because you're going to pay for parking. You're going to pay for the ticket. You're going to pay for a fast pass.
Well, that's why you get the season pass, though, because it comes with not only the general entrance, but you used to get VIP parking with the Platinum Pass back in the day.
VIP parking?
Absolutely, right in the front row.
I don't want to park in the front. I want to park near the exits.
Well, no, there's an exit right there.
I want to park at the end of the parking lot.
No.
I want to park right by where the road
story. I thought someone messed with my tire on a Cadillac when I parked back there. Remember that flat tire story that I said I almost ended up in the lake with your entrance or exit strategy?
Oh, because you went on the causeway, but the causeway was where you needed to go, though. Was the causeway not the place to go? Was the causeway not the fastest way out of there?
No, it was the fastest way out of there, but I didn't end up getting back to the what was it, the Hyatt Arcade in downtown Cleveland till like the sun was coming out. And then it was a Sunday morning on top of that, so the Cadillac dealership was closed. So I ended up making it a 3-day weekend in Cleveland.
Hey, how about it?
No, it's great time. Great time. I had a wonderful time. Of course, there's that I almost want to call it a barcade, a little bowling area.
Corner alley right there.
Yeah, the alley, absolutely. So yes, you would have, somebody out there has probably seen Double J frequenting that area of town. And so that's like, yeah, absolutely. I get around like Tupac, so.
Well, as long as
But
you don't
all
go on
right,
a certain
but
avenue.
to steer this thing back
Yeah.
with the faction itself, as
Mhm.
far as Dominic goes, of course he's going to be the centerpiece for
Yep.
a potential feud between Liv and Mommy, and rightfully so. But could he redeem himself? Because his dad, Rey Mysterio, was on record of saying he would participate. He'd be willing to participate in a demasking match against him
when he's ready. See, I don't think he finished that statement.
Oh, don't Mr. Miyagi me.
He didn't. No, he didn't finish. Man, I'm gonna say this again. I'll say this again. You saw WrestleMania 40. You saw the same WrestleMania 40 that I saw. You didn't see a different version. There wasn't a director's cut. There wasn't a there wasn't a Snyderverse version of WrestleMania 40. You saw the same WrestleMania 40 that I did. He's ready for a demasking match. No, come back on camera. Answer the question. He ready for that? Dommy, is he ready for that?
You know what? He was born ready for it because of his uncle Eddie, and he was barely again in grade school, missing school, and the teachers thought he was in some Maury level dispute over paternity tests, and
he's been ready for storylines since he's been born. But actual wrestling between the turnbuckle, our show, our namesake, inside the turnbuckle, is Dominic ready for a demasking match?
He has a little bit of, he's a little rough around the edges. All right.
Rough around the edges. All right, bro. Understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about right now. And I am not in no way insinuating that he will never be. I'm never that guy just going to say he ain't going to never be.
Wait a minute.
He's not ready now.
We're not going to cut him down like this. He has been an NXT champion. Okay.
Why?
What do you mean? Well, so Finn Balor gets, becomes the sacrificial lamb here. Becomes lamb chops.
Yeah, he does. Finn Balor becomes lamb chops, not by our doing. It is our desire to see Finn Balor in more meaningful competition, doing more meaningful work, because Finn Balor's talent suggests that he did.
But meanwhile, Dominic gets handed a title just for what, his not even his namesake, but because of the Judgment Day title. We're doing that.
Man, you know what?
Nation.
You know what? After the show, me and you just gonna watch WrestleMania 40 again. Because clearly you didn't see it. No, I'm serious. No, we're doing this. When we're done, we're watching that together. Okay, we're gonna listen. Nope, we're gonna do this. We're gonna watch WrestleMania 40 together. And you're gonna see what I see. And then you're gonna see what I see. And then next week, we're gonna ask on this show if you feel the same way you feel right now about what I'm saying, about what you're saying about Dominic. What I'm telling you is, I'm gonna say it again. I ain't saying that he ain't never gonna be. I certainly believe I'm never gonna cap anybody's ceiling, especially somebody that young. But to say he is, come on, man. You mean, all right, put it this way. Rest his soul. Eddie's gone. Eddie and Ray had a demasking match 30 years ago. It seemed like 25 to 30 years ago, right? Is that about right?
Yeah.
Do you think that Dominic and Ray could have the same caliber match as Eddie and Ray 25
Oh, that's
years
not
ago?
fair. Oh, we can't do
Why
that.
isn't it? No, because you said he ready. No, because you said he ready.
There's a ready. That's not even that ready. I mean, we're talking like ready for the world. Like,
right.
I mean, come on. There's this.
No.
That's
I'm
a whole different. we're on the ground floor here. They're in
you
the
mean to tell me?
stratosphere.
Listen, to have the demasking. All right, so to have the demasking match, Eddie versus Dominic. If Dominic demasks his father, two things I think can happen. One, it's a statement that Dominic will become Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio Jr. is his name. Remember, Rey Mysterio Jr. is his name.
Well, right, because Rey Mysterio is actually his uncle.
Correct. So this is Rey Mysterio. So then for the demasking happen would be like this. Like, King, like you think about Tekken, right? King, right? The mask. Okay. So.
Yeah, the leopard or cheetah.
Yeah. Is Dominic ready to be Rey Mysterio?
Look, he handled at least the 619 portion of it. But those are some.
What about the 618 other degrees?
Oh man.
I feel like we said this before, bro. I feel like that exact phrase that came out of my mouth before about this guy.
Well, because we talked about the Judgment Day, but in a completely different context. This just so happened, and wait till we get it. You know what? We're gonna put them on the back burner.
Yeah,
because we got still just to basically wrap up the SummerSlam. It feels like it. SummerSlam next week. No, King and Queen of the Ring. We had the women's tag team championship. Yep. You talk about production, very poor planning. Again, if you remember, Bianca Belair was supposed to be injured.
Yeah.
Obviously, we discussed, some other things that could have been real and weren't. Right. But they absolutely went to town and just, Jade and Bianca just basically rolled them out and wheeled them out.
Yeah, they did. That's just right. Like, come get them. The meal is ready. Carve them up. That's what they did.
It was, yes. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I just think
but you got to understand what you see, and I'm gonna maintain this position so that way I'm consistent. Every time I see it, every time I see them in a match, I'm just looking at different snippets of the program that they're gonna run when they bump heads, and that image of them at King and Queen of the Ring winning the title in the pink the bubblegum outfits that they was wearing, the bubblegum twins. That image of them flexing, right? That's gonna be part of the vignette. I just every bit of it. I'm just patiently ready. It's a beautiful painting being crafted.
Then you know what? I'm gonna say it now. Who you got? If you're so convinced of this thing going
it's
down,
gonna happen,
I think one
bro.
Of them's gonna disappear.
It's gonna be Jay. Jay's gonna get first blood. Jay's gonna make the heel turn.
Why are you so convinced of that?
Because she's a heel.
Ooh.
She is a heel. Everything about her, she's a heel because she's a formidable opposition, and she can be nasty if she wants to be. And she's gonna be nasty if she wants to, and she's tough. Like, yeah, she's a heel. She's an ideal heel. And then if you put her against Nia Jax, she could be a face. That's fine.
But is Bianca Belair not capable of being anything other than a face?
No, not compared to Jade. See, when you run the two of them together, it's kind of like, all right, I think in Ring of Honor, for example, Seth Rollins was the face and Dean Ambrose or John Moxley was the heel at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But once they arrived at WWE and their progression and they matured into themselves as wrestlers and as personas, it made more sense that Seth would be a heel and Dean would be a face in that scenario. It made more sense. In that with similar using that similar pathology, given the way Jade presents herself, she to me looks more like a heel. Plus, she's newer, so she's coming forth. She needs she deserves. You get what I'm saying? She's hunting. She's a hunter, right?
Absolutely.
She's new to the air, so she's gonna take over. She's like, I use you for what I got. Wah, 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 woo, woo, woo. I'm taking over. Yo, it's my turn. You had your time. It's me now. I'm gonna make this happen, and I'm gonna be champ. And then people are gonna love to see her, get her comeuppance, if you will. But I think she's a better heel in that comparison.
Hey, that's valid for me. I do believe that both could do it, and like you said, it's just a matter of choice on which. And then of course, we did have the Cody Rhodes match.
You sound so upset. You sound so you now you understand what I'm saying. Now you understand what look, they can show you better than I can tell you. Go ahead, give us a rundown. I want you to revel in this.
Well, I mean, there was a part of this I guess I wasn't expecting. I mean, you mentioned Brass Knuckles, and it might as well have been Brass Monkey. Oh.
Right. Oh man, come on, talk to me
an actor and comedian came out, who was the special guest announcer, and he prevented Logan from using the brass knuckles again because they were used, of course.
Yep.
Which ultimately led to consecutive 3, to be exact, crossroads.
Yep.
Bone at that point.
Right.
And of course that allowed us to say see you at the crossroads as far as Logan Paul becoming the WWE champion.
Now, did that mean that Cody Rhodes does have both titles or no?
No, because of Paul's attorney declaring beforehand that they did not have to put his title up.
Oh, okay. Convenient.
Yeah. So I will say this, I will stay adamant to this part of it.
Okay.
Which is Logan Paul has it. Like, he commits to this stuff in a way that should be commended and respected.
Yes,
and
I agree.
I will go a step further because him entering this space altogether was no different than him in the boxing realm or anything outside of what we're doing with YouTube or acting, for that matter, was going to always come with the naysayer crowd. And so you always have to work a little bit harder than anybody else. And I think that if he hasn't won the respect of everyone yet, then I would hope that match at least added, if he may have won some additional credibility.
Right. He should. Yeah, certainly.
Okay. But that's what I was going to say. Like, you can tell that this guy keeps getting better.
And I the face that you just saw me make is because I'm replaying the match right now.
All right, cool.
The bump that he took off the Ezaguri, or when he was outside the turnbuckle, and Cody Rhodes came off the turnbuckle, that bump, things like that, the hits that you can take, right? That's it. What you can sell, what he's selling, is the indicator for me of how good he's going to be eventually. Tell me this. All right, let me ask you a question. Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio in a demasking match.
Look.
See,
the only reason. Whoa, no, wait a minute. The only reason I'm saying no is because that actually is a scary. Like that's scary to me that I'm even acknowledging this and saying it in this manner.
Yep.
That every bit of what you said about, and every bit that I clearly not only acknowledged but reiterated that. Okay, where he is versus where they were. Because Logan's capable of delivering,
Yep,
I could see him completely reenacting every bit of what Eddie Guerrero did in that match to a T.
Yeah.
And that's what's actually scary is the thought of him having that halfway off his with like bloody skull showing.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
That's what
you
I'm
would have.
saying.
Oh my God.
I just again my major contention is that the problem with it is that it's just too early. It was too early in Cody's run to make me believe that Logan Paul was ever going to win it. And I was unable to suspend disbelief to work this idea. That was my problem. It's just too early. If this had been Royal Rumble, this had been a Royal Rumble match, I could kind of see it.
What if the titles weren't on the line, though?
I can see it.
But what about, okay, and let's just say if brass knuckles weren't the reason.
I could see him surprising them on like let's say he kind of win in a count out situation or a Brett versus Owen WrestleMania 10 victory situation.
No. We're going straight pinfall.
Pinfall? Nah, it won't be a pinfall. Nah, it'll be a good match. It'll be a great match.
But this is the part, and this is the hard part for all of us.
Okay.
To accept.
Okay.
Because every bit of what we said a moment ago and are telling ourselves that we're acknowledging that we've seen. If he's not capable of doing that part, how much of that is us holding it against him because of who he is?
If he's not capable of doing what part?
If you can't conceive the idea of him beating Cody straight up, then we aren't saying he's not capable. We're despite every bit of what we said, we are lying to ourselves.
No, it is about Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the problem.
Hang on a second. This is Stardust here.
No, Cody Rhodes is the problem. Cody Rhodes is the problem. You had us wait a year for him to pay off, and then you almost interrupted that with The Rock. This guy's supposed to have a sustained run with legitimate challengers. Cody Rhodes is not supposed to ever be in jeopardy of losing this title to Logan Paul. Logan Paul, who's only been wrestling for about a year. Logan Paul isn't an Olympian like or collegiate master wrestler like Shelton Benjamin or Brock Lesnar or Kurt Angle. Right? He's got talent, but he's still green in some ways.
Okay.
So the plausibility of him beating Cody Rhodes for the preeminent title in the business, in the brand, he's still in David Arquette territory if he were to win it. He's quickly swimming away from that, but he's still closer to David Arquette than he is to let's see, somebody who did Bobby Lashley, who's come from another arena and then come to be respected, if not expected to win. That's my problem. My problem is the story you're telling with Cody Rhodes, and he hasn't found his way to have a program with AJ Styles, or like I said at the beginning of the show, a program with AJ Styles at this point, or LA Knight at this point, or Drew McIntyre or someone who could plausibly take this title away from him. That's my problem. Do you see? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I'm with you. Look, we're gonna take one final break here, and then we're running through Raw because this was a wild one. Look, we're taking the mundane out of Mondays, and because there is no down season, off season, half season, whatever you want to call it. We're taking a full 105, and then we're coming back with some heat.
All right, for sure. I'm ready.
Yeah, this is the heat of the night.
All right.
Here on the Turnbuckle.
It's Kate Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report.
I'm Harvey Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report.
My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Oh, you're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report.
It's Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Man. We're from Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
All right, and just like that, we are back, and boom, we kicked off Monday with a bang, which was none other than Kaiser introducing your King of the Ring, which was Gunther himself. I will say this. The commentary group, which, of course, we started our show with, did acknowledge the controversy with Randy Orton.
Yep. Okay.
But they said that Triple H, basically the referee's decision was final.
Okay.
So that kind of squashes any, I would say, any future developments with the Viper, if you will.
Pause.
Yep.
This is one of, I think, a key, subtle, but stark difference between WWE ran by Vince McMahon versus WWE ran by someone other than Vince McMahon or Triple H. Even though Vince McMahon was forced to deal with the events of the Montreal Screwjob because of how transparent and how real it was. Right. So this is where it birthed the Attitude Era, because he had to address it because it was so upfront and in the face and spontaneous that they had to address it. This is something that I don't think would have been addressed under this McMahon's era. Like, I think they would have just acted as if everything went well. They would have done the same thing that WCW did at Starrcade 97. They would have just acted as if everything went according to plan and then ran from it and not have allowed any insinuation to otherwise to show like did Nick Patrick do a fast count or no? It sounded like he said it was a fast count, but it was a normal count, and they just left it alone. I like this. I appreciate this. That being said, cool. We're moving forward. All right, then.
Well, we're moving forward and we're moving fast.
Yeah.
Because right away, Gunther has some mic time.
Yep.
And says the world heavyweight title lacks prestige.
Yes.
And he says that Damian Priest takes shortcuts.
Ooh.
Leading to the Judgment Day.
Wow.
Here comes your champ, The champ is here.
The champ is here.
Literally.
Yeah.
So now they get into the ring, and Priest takes that mic and says he won't need a shortcut to beat him.
Right.
That he could teach Gunther a thing or two in this business. And then Gunther responds by saying he's been waiting for someone to teach him something in the WWE because he's done nothing but dominate since he's been there.
Wow. Strong statement.
Gunther says if Priest is still the champion by SummerSlam, he will take his title. Only for the Scotsman's music to drop.
Oh boy.
So now you get Drew and Gunther face to face.
Yep.
In which, of course, this is not the first time that we would have seen those two together.
Yep.
My thought is if Drew is champion at SummerSlam or by SummerSlam, however, if by that date, we will get some fireworks.
You know what's about to happen, right?
Oh, my.
You know what's about to happen, right?
Wait. Hold that thought.
Holding.
While Drew has the mic, CM Punk chants break out.
Okay.
Can't contain the crowd, right?
Okay, yeah.
On record of that.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre. This is a direct quote.
Yeah.
CM Punk's been back for 6 months now, and the highlight of his return has been me. Let's be honest, if I didn't injure him, he'd have screwed up and got fired, and he's got nowhere else to go. So
wow.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Wow. Okay. That was real. Okay. I like it.
Then Drew turns his attention to Damian Priest, says he sucks as a leader of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So he better start focusing on what's important, himself and that world championship. Drew says it's time for a geography lesson that they don't teach in America.
Whoa.
Drew reminds Damian that he's going to Scotland. This is real Drew territory. The crowd won't be there for him. Priest says that won't work. He wants to know Drew's wife's name before they can fight. For the music for Braun Strowman to come out for his match with JD McDonough, of course, of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So at one point in time, you had Gunther, Drew, Damian Priest, and Braun all in one segment.
Wow.
I mean, this sounds like the meat sweats all over it.
Man. That's a lot.
You want to dissect that? Go for it. Let's go for it.
See, what I'm thinking now is it's a fatal 4-way at SummerSlam. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's a fatal 4-way at SummerSlam. I think Damian Priest is going to hold on to that title for a little bit longer. I think that you have the 4 of those guys. Gunther deserves, he's going to get the title shot that he deserves. And he already proclaimed that if you're having the title by SummerSlam, now I'm going to take it off of you. So that means that he will have the title by, that means that Gunther's not going to defend for it or be able to compete for it until SummerSlam. So I don't think much of the picture would be sorted out. I think it's going to be like a fatal 4-way.
Oof. I'm here for it, dude. I'm all over this. I love this.
I hate I just, as a general rule, I hate world title matches that are not mano a mano. But I see the potential in this one. Because between we ain't almost in June, July, August, we're talking about 60 days, 70 days. That's not a lot of time. That's not a lot of time at all. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 WWE Raw appearances, a couple pay-per-views. It's really not a lot of time. That's what I see it to be.
Well, I'm with you. You're right. It's not a lot of time.
No.
We do have that other pay-per-view coming up. And so I'm intrigued to see what kind of impact that may have on this whole thing because of rematch clauses and all of that type of, twists and turns that could certainly impact all of this. I mean, look, it didn't take very long from the Montreal heel turn to the very next pay-per-view before we got all three, right? Before we got just for the IC title.
Yes.
So to suggest that in a greater duration, we could get something of that sort, potentially I'm all for it as well. So that would lead into our very next match, which if I were to ask you right now, if you were to rate JD McDonough versus Braun Strowman, what would you kind of think?
3. I don't even know why I'm giving it 3. That's the first thing I'm gonna say 3.
So interestingly enough, my thought was that it would be, I guess I would say the word filler. Is that fair?
Okay. Yeah.
And so when it wasn't that,
okay,
I'm going to show this here. At one point in time, JD actually showed, this is what's so sad about all this whole like Judgment Day stuff, is that now JD McDonough is actually like showing signs of life as a singles competitor.
Okay.
And naturally, this, as you could tell here in the image, and that's why I'm showing it, this is clearly, David Goliath, right?
Right.
But, and of course, we had the showdown, mere moments before.
Right.
But it actually was pretty solid, in my opinion. And I would say, of course, the Braun Strowman was the victor of the match.
Yep.
Now, it wouldn't be a Judgment Day match, of course, without some kind of interference, which came by way of Carlito and Finn, coincidentally. And this is why I keep pointing out Finn in all of this, because Finn, we as we discussed at almost ad nauseum now, poor guy, man. Like, he comes in to help and they get just destroyed.
Right.
By this, behemoth of a man.
Like, why even show up?
That's my point, dude. It was Carlito and Finn. And JD, who was at least like looking half decent offensively. The fact he had any offense, besides like this cheap shot with a chair that did nothing. That's what I would have expected. Any thoughts on your end? I mean, obviously it painted the picture that Braun Strowman is Braun Strowman, but is he deserving of a title push as well? I know you threw in Fatal 4-Way, but I think that potentially from my end builds on that. And I otherwise wouldn't have honestly expected it.
Yeah. Right. I don't like how this looks for Finn because it makes him look like a jobber. And I think he's much more deserving than that. It positions Braun to be exactly where I think he should be, a contestant in this Fatal 4-Way that I think is going to happen at SummerSlam. Unless Braun somehow takes out any of the others in the way of him competing for that title. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a lot of side quests for Braun Strowman until August. And I think that's what it's going to be, a fatal four-way.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to, of course, as a reminder here, everyone, we have the, you know what? I'll let Barbershop Jay say it, and it will be back at 30.
What it do, sports fans? It's your man BSJ from the Shop Report. And guess what? The shop is now open for business, baby. If you're on Facebook, go to our fan page, The Shop Report, click on more, and then shop to view all products. Or if you're on Instagram, click on the shop tab to see all our products. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm selling merch here.
So again, as a reminder, yes, we do have new merch has dropped with the Turnbuckle logo on it. You will see me actually wearing it here very soon, as mine is on its way as well. So get yours today. And following the conclusion of this match, we had none other than Liv Morgan. You're now champion, Liv
Morgan.
Being interviewed by Kathy Kelly. And of course, Liv goes on to say that she had no idea that Dominic Mysterio would even be in Saudi Arabia to help her win the title. Notice the verbiage there. Yeah. And that she plans on beating Becky Lynch again this evening in a steel cage match. She also says the revenge tour isn't over. It's just getting started.
Well, hey, I'm here for it. Don't mind it at all. Really building her up to be hated, which is, I think, is she? Let me ask you that. Is she? Are we getting the genuine intended Dark Gable heat, or is it like we really don't like this and really don't like her? Dwayne Rocky Maivia heat. What do you think we're getting from
her? Wait, with who hating who though?
With Liv Morgan, the fans.
I think the fans love her.
Gotcha.
I think this is Adam Copeland. This is Edge heel saying, "I don't need your support."
Oh, okay.
And so instead, it's not necessarily backfiring by any means, but it's certainly it's one of those rare occasions that we actually see a heel somewhat being a face by way of the crowd, at least for now. I would say I would strongly preface for now.
Okay.
Look, I've been on record of saying we have to really go back and remember how all of this started, which was her getting injured to begin with.
Got you.
Right? Like when you view it in that context, like everyone loves a comeback story.
Yeah, that's true.
And that really at the heart of it all is what this is. And so it's an interest. It's certainly worth keeping an eye on.
Right.
So they transition to Adam Pearce, who was saying he had suspended Braun Breaker after last week. So he denied a request from Ricochet to face him this evening. However, Ricochet requested a match with Dragunov.
Yeah.
And of course, Dragunov then says he breaks men, but doesn't want to fight a broken man. And of course, so he accepts the match, only to find out during we get this.
Whoa.
Braun Breaker was supposed to be suspended.
Yeah.
And he ends up taking out both Ricochet and Dragunov, which causes it to, of course, be a DQ.
Yes. Well, wait a minute. Double DQ?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's a look at what Adam Pearce giving him a piece of his mind, or kind of. But what say you to this now? Look, you've talked about a fatal four-way. By all means, Cully, what do you think?
Well, yeah, it's like, if IDGA, was a person. it was my man Brian. He's like, you know what? Nope. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're looking towards. Like I don't care. I don't care about you. I don't care about nothing. I'm here and I'm here to wreck, you know what. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I just darn did. And you'll figure out the rest. Like, yeah. I'm here for it.
Interesting. I am too. It is going to be a really interesting direction that they go with these guys. But it seems like there's a couple different pushes. Certainly, some interesting heels, and we'll see where it all ends up and how the dust settles.
Yes.
Which then leads to, of course, a somewhat of a non-vignette of the awesome truth.
Yep.
Delivering ice cream. And
hey, sidebar real quick. Have you seen Kevin Nash's comments recently about wrestlers like in stables, like wrestlers like R-Truth and stables like the New Day? Have you seen those comments?
No, by all means.
He suggests that largely that athletes of color, they get weird angles and they don't get a chance to truly showcase their talent. And that where R-Truth it currently is positioned is beneath him. Like he's better than that. He's done so much more than that. And to have him kind of aloof and weird is just sort of disrespectful, but largely consistent with the general treatment of Black athletes in the sport of wrestling. Similarly can be said for the New Day and the angles that they have. And basically, he's suggesting, it's disappointing to him to see talent like R-Truth being relegated to such silly, stereotypical almost angles. You haven't heard or seen any of that?
No, and so now I'm even more intrigued by all of this. Like, we talked about earlier the what to do with all the talent,
right?
And now you threw that into the blender. Oh
yeah,
man.
and you know what? Here's the challenge that it poses for me. I resonate a lot with what Kevin Nash is saying. The big, however, is the New Day found that thing and they made it work to the point where they took something that was supposed to be, I believe, at its core, at its origin, it was supposed to be disrespectful, disingenuous, and supposed to it was meant to bury them, but they flipped it on its head and it became something much more. Similarly can be said for R-Truth, like that senility angle that he does when he's getting matches and the goofy behavior. It actually, it does catch on and resonates, but then again, is it because perhaps we've been conditioned to seeing that from tag teams or singles competitions of color. So it is funny to us because they've done what we've been used to seeing from athletes of color historically. So yes, of course they were going to make it work because we always make it work. Coco Beware.
Oh,
Prime example.
man.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
think
know
he's
what?
on
Didn't
board.
I tag you? I feel like in one of his like reels. I feel like.
Is it one where he talked about the first time he received the first tombstone?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about like with our truth recently. Ron with his real name, Ron Givens or something.
Oh, Ron Killings. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was totally unrelated to wrestling, but it was funny though. It was like somebody outside arguing and he doing all types of like goofy stuff. Like he washing the windows, then he he hung up a picture outside on the window on the front door.
Yes, that was it. Yep.
When he walked the toy dog. Yeah, that's funny though. That to me is different from that, in my opinion, because of the connotation it is showing is like people would do anything to try to get in front of some news, So that to me doesn't strike the same as him playing the angle where he get amnesia in matches and it's a ladder match and he going for pinfalls and other silly stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's only going to get worse because I'm going to actually read you how this went.
Okay.
The Miz, why did you make me wear all white? Our truth, gotta represent your flavor. Miz, so I'm vanilla and your truth, strawberry. Why? What were you gonna say? The New Day. Yeah, Miz, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, what were you gonna say? Yeah.
Only, once again, Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
And tells them that he can help him. But mainly Woods because he believes in him. Kofi laughed it off and asked when it's going to be about Woods. When Kofi finally retires, Kross tells Woods to watch what AOP does tonight. Consider his own future. Woods says he's not going to break up the greatest tag team of all time to join him. Kross says, so the hard way then. Good, I like it better that way.
Ooh. Wow. So he's throwing seeds into planting seeds of discontent and distrust, setting up for a possible heel turn.
Well, that was the thing. Remember, he told Kofi he could help him after that loss. And so I thought it was the Kofi heel turn. But now he's saying, he's telling both, but then to tell, Xavier Woods that he believes in him more.
Yeah, right in front of his face, right?
Right. Like, I'm not exactly sure what to make of that. You got anything on this?
Yeah, So it's starting, it's starting that doubt thing. And, pretty soon you'll see in the next show, more doubts are going to be cast, and doubt seeds, distrust or whatnot. They're playing a slow game with it for sure, but I don't mind it. It'll be interesting to see those guys be more dynamic, heel, face, see what it's like to be in the ring against one another.
Well, after that, we had this match, and you're going to see how it ended here, which is the Authors of Pain just destroying the Creed brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The Creed brothers are they've fallen off, man.
They fall, yeah, all the way off.
So, could you see them turning heel?
No. I don't know why. No.
we then transition to Sheamus, who's just roaming around casually. You see Liv back there. And then, of course, there's Braun Strowman, who's still looking for JD McDonough via earlier this evening, which then leads to this, which was rather unexpected for me. Kaiser and Sheamus get into a brawl that leads to the entrance ramp.
Whoa.
After Sheamus was actually looking for Kaiser.
Whoa. You know what? That's another one. Sheamus, right? We spent all this time talking about Finn Balor, but Sheamus got some weight issues you got to worry about. But we did he's another one that's kind of like lost. Like he's a guy who don't need a title to be in a meaningful program, but who's checking for him? You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to transition to this one here. As you saw, Liv Morgan, who had beat Becky Lynch. So this is her conversation with Lyra. So Saturday didn't go our way, but it's not about winning all the time. It's about getting better every time. So we'll either win or we'll learn. We'll keep winning or keep learning until it's time to walk away. You got this. Consider knee pads.
Whoa.
Now, there was a report earlier in the evening that Becky Lynch's contract expires like in a week. Now we talked about this potentially with Drew McIntyre about a month or so ago. But then you get an ominous quote like that.
Yeah. Let's see.
Are we about to experience life without the man?
Possibly.
I think you're right. And that's it's one of those weird feelings, right? Where you're not sure.
Right.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't know. So, well, kind of to be determined, right?
Right.
So Lyra actually goes back following this and keeps winning, despite her other loss over the weekend, or last week rather. But she defeated it's irrelevant. She won.
It's irrelevant. She won. Right.
So after Lyra wins, Io Sky loses her mind backstage.
Okay.
And just started tearing things up in the room.
Right.
And then stormed out when Dakota Kai was watching as all of this unfolded. I'm not sure where that came from. Obviously Lyra beat her.
Yep.
But it's not she lost to Nia Jax, so it's not she took the Queen of the Ring from me. No, she didn't win either. So
right.
Not really sure what to make of that. You got anything on this?
Nah. I think they're trying to figure out where to place Miss Lynch. But I don't have nothing much to say on that one. And
then we go backstage.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
My God, your guy.
You just happen to walk. Hey, look, folks, we're live when this stuff is going down, okay?
Right.
There is no hey, Gully, nudge, nudge, or what was the other thing? The down, the up, down.
Yeah, right.
So there's none of that. Backstage, Damian Priest.
Yep.
Questions Dominic on why he helped Liv win. And Dominic said it was a mistake, and he apologized to Rhea on the phone. And Priest warns Dominic that he better fix what he started before she comes back. leading to a match.
Okay.
That would be Carlito versus Rey Mysterio.
And
so
what
if you
does that
remember
include?
earlier in the evening with the Braun Strowman thing, Carlito had tried to interfere into that match. Now he's, of course, a competitor this time around. And
Carlito trying to get his way back into some type of picture one way or another.
and well, he tried, but ultimately, despite the interference from Finn, Rey Mysterio manages to defeat Carlito clean via pinfall.
Whoa.
After the match, Rey Mysterio attempts to have Dragon Lee put Finn Balor through the announce table, but Damian Priest arrives to save the day and takes out Dragon Lee and then takes out Rey Mysterio. But there's your prime, by the way.
That's a heck of an image, right? right.
Just conveniently placed. Dark Gable then calls Maxine Dupree Goldilocks and the 3 brain cells.
I love it.
He, of course, says to Otis that he has forgiven him for what happened, which, of course, was that clothesline we talked about. And Otis gets a one-on-one with Bronson Reed. And, of course, Otis fails.
Miserably.
Yep.
Spectacularly failure.
So we've had where this form of leadership from Dark Gable, where the passive aggressive or the verbal assault that he's done, he tried going the nice route, and that didn't.
Nice guys finish last, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be an 8. You know what? In order to get things done, in order to get people to respect you, that makes sense.
So here's the thing: after the match, we had. You see Dark Gable here in the background.
Yeah, I see him. Dark Gable in that. What color is that? Puke green suit. What is going on here, Dark Gable?
Basically,
Dark Gable look like he sell liquidated furniture
or insurance.
right. Probably at the same spot. Come here, we protect your home, your auto, and your love seat. All of come here to Gable and Gable Insurance, home of the 46-inch TV with the new policy. That's right, folks. You bundle your home, auto, and life. We'll get you a 46-inch TV, HD TV. Come on down. Won't you come on down?
Flat screen with an asterisk. It's got the big back.
Right.
Wagon.
It's a flat screen, not a flat panel.
Yeah, that's right. And so Maxine Dupree, Goldilocks, ends up stopping Dark Gable from whipping Otis with his belt. So safe then, only to have Sami Zayn come out and tell Otis he does not have to be a victim of this any longer.
Right.
However,
the big however. Go ahead.
Otis, he tells him Otis has grown strong enough to leave. But Otis stands watch why Zayn gets destroyed by Gable.
Oh, okay. We see. So we setting this up. So here's the tag team match.
So that leads to our final match of the night. Which is the main event. Steel cage match. Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan.
Now, is title on the line?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. Shocked it. Come on.
Dominic Mysterio comes out during the match.
Yep. People going to hate him.
He opens the door to the cage.
Yep.
He gets run over by Braun Strowman because he was chasing JD McDonough still from for the last 3 hours.
Right.
Which caused the door to hit Becky Lynch in the face.
Whoa.
And Liv Morgan escapes to retain the title and then kisses Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, the ultimate betrayal. He's getting so used. He doesn't even realize it. Heartbreak. Heartbreak makes a man out of you. I'm telling you, like right now. He doesn't have any idea. He thinks this is the plan with him. The plan is including him. You follow what I'm saying? They're not planning this together. He's being used and he don't even figure it out. Now he don't have his mommy no more. That's just a weird thing. But oh wow. Wow.
So this is it. This is what we got.
Yeah.
Right on the smackers.
Right there. But wow. So somebody's jealous of Mama gonna be mad. Yep. So weird, ain't it, Megan? Ain't it, Mrs. Alva? Mama.
Well, now the question is, who does she like more? Because remember, she hated Mommy. So
yeah, she don't like. Listen, this ain't got nothing to do with her liking Mommy at this point. She probably here for it.
I'd like to, Dominic. Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
She retains the title.
She had recently announced she was single too, and I thought that was real life. So then you get this.
Yeah. This is well, you kind of see it coming, you know what I mean? Hey, listen, we've all had friends. Maybe we haven't, because maybe sometimes we were the guy that we got the nice looking girl, we got it, and she got the plans going, and your homie's like, yo, bro, you being used, my guy. Like, you a means to an end. Like, nah, man, she really dig me, man, and we gonna work on this thing together. Like, no. Bro, you really, come on, man. You got to see it. You got to see it for what it is, my guy. She don't really have no interest with you unless it's nah, man, I believe it, man. No, you just being a hater, being her forever. Man, you know what? He gonna be left on the side of the road like a lost kitty right before the hospital at the APL, and then he gonna be upset. That's what I see. That's what I see's happening. She made perfect use of a means to an end.
So I'm going to leave you with this. This question. This is my final question for you tonight.
Final question. All right, let's go. Final question time. Here we go.
Is this Becky Lynch's last match in the WWE?
No, absolutely not. She's going to get some time off, get a new contract, make sure it's healthier for her and her legacy, and she'll be back here in a few months when they sorted everything out. Can't imagine her going nowhere. She is not about to be all elite. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, you beat me to it. I was going to say next week she's all elite. Oh,
yeah, no. I don't think I mean, think about her position right now in WWE. Like, I don't know, to me, do you think the fans have soured on her? I don't think so.
I do.
You think the fans have soured on Becky Lynch?
Dude, she just lost the title like in a matter of 72 hours. She's in a free fall.
She lost the title and then lost the retaining title, right?
Yep.
All right. I don't
look at the images on the screen right now.
Right. I mean, listen, you need the void left by Rhea Ripley I think is pretty sizable. So you need someone to fill that void. Becky Lynch needs to remain there as well in order to be the face, polar opposite, right? I don't think the fans have soured. I think maybe it's just a matter of time off, renegotiate a new deal. What can AEW offer Becky Lynch at this time. She don't need to prove anything. See, AEW grabs WWE talent that still have something to prove to the rest of the wrestling world, and namely
Beer
to
Mahan.
Connecticut. Right. So that's why Adam Copeland is All Elite.
You did not just put those two in the same realm.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
I bet, Mrs. Alva.
You know what? That has personality written all over it. Would you look at that?
Right.
Very telling, coincidentally. I don't know. I think the answer is yes, that this is it for her. This is her last ride. I don't know her age or anything like that. I'm not going to bring any of that into the mix here.
Well, no, it might be.
And I don't think it's a vacation either, dude. I look, timing wise in this business, we talk about it quite frequently. Like, is the push there? Certainly not. I told you our host talks about falling out of a plane at 50,000 feet or jumping. This was a kick.
Get out!
Like this was a Sheamus kick. Right.
There's a bro kick. Yeah, she called herself the man. This is a bro kick out of the. Oh, okay. Got you. Nah, I don't know if they soured on her. I don't know that they've soured on her, man. I really don't.
Well, then that could very well be why she's All Elite in a week. Because if her contract's up at midnight, in a few days here, that's not when you want to go down to the wire, and that's not how you want to go down the wire. But that's where I stand with things. Any closing thoughts from this Monday and where we're headed?
The World Heavyweight title picture looks a bit more interesting than the WWE title picture.
Oh man,
it does.
Follow up with a question.
Yeah, it does. So I think the WWE, I think they'll figure that out.
Does Cody Rhodes retain beyond SummerSlam?
The way they're booking him, I don't think so.
I mean, this is brutally bad.
Is it? Well, see, is it bad? Like, all right, I don't know in this era. And again, I've never been in a locker room. I've only heard, you listen to interviews and you hear documentaries, podcasts, and the like. And they suggest, and then you try to glean what happens behind the scenes. Wrestlers now, they can't go off script. So they're only doing they're only handling what's been given to them. This is the deck of cards that they've given Cody Rhodes.
What? You don't think this is creative control, Cody Rhodes?
No, because Cody wasn't booked this terribly in AEW. And how would you be doing less with more talent?
Then what's happening? How is this happening? How is that the highlight of, which is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, I love that. How can you get this excited for that? What is on our screen right now? And your WWE champion is a lull.
Again, you gotta figure it out. And they haven't yet figured that thing out. I think perhaps they're waiting for somebody to get healthy and then they put them into that program. But until then, it's going to be, it's going to feel incomplete. It's going to feel not up to standards. It's going to feel like inconsistent with the story that they told from his return to WWE up until SummerSlam 24. Like,
something must be done. Something must be done.
Yeah, and I don't know yet. I think it's still pending. I really do. I think they haven't figured out who to run counter Cody Rhodes. The heel has not emerged yet, and he needs a program to do so.
Finn Balor, I'm sorry, but but look, we're back Wednesday. Now just in a mere feels like 24 hours we'll be back.
Because we will be, because it's already 12:34.
Yeah, that's right. So we're on our way out. We appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Yeah,
Twitter,
thank you.
Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Shout out to D-Runk, Mrs. A, of course, and all the other viewers. Again, you can like and subscribe. Again, 99 cents. Get yourself on the screen. Get the badge. Stand out. Amongst the crowd. Get yourself probably a title match too, Cody Rhodes at this point.
Yeah, he looking for it. That's one of the things for June. You can get a title match with Cody Rhodes. Let's not say that.
I know we're not getting sued for that.
The Red Bull guy. Remember the Red Bull guy? He won that lawsuit because the Red Bull gave him wings, and he proved that he did.
Right. My 99 cents. You said it was a title match. Yeah. It was a WWE 2K24, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Well, if you really want to know what's going on,
come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome.
Holla.